ESL Pro League is brought to you in part by Logitech G, Pay Safeguard, TheScoreEsports.com, G2A, NVIDIA, and ESEA.
Good evening and welcome back to the Pro League. One more game to go for today. Your evening could end with a bang, potentially, as SK did just get dissected, demoralized and destroyed by the French G2. Now they have to do it on Cash, a map that does favor them a little bit more. There's nods, and of course I'm joined by D-Man and Vendetta. We already kind of highlighted this about SK. I'm prefacing this discussion with a sigh, because it does feel like this game again could be determined before it began, similar to that Overpass game that you had the pleasure of casting.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I mean, Cash is definitely a much better chance for SK Gaming. The problem is that G2 are also pretty damn good on this. If Scream and co start getting going, Scream tends to take control of mid on CT side and just basically dominate it. If that happens, SK are going to have a problem. But SK, you know, this is their home map. This is their home turf. They're going to basically pitch everything into this one. And don't forget, SK are also in this scary situation where they're fighting for wins down that bottom of the league. Bottom place is auto-relegation at the moment. I believe they have 3 wins on the board. When VP... You've got to assume
they get one
when VP play SK and when they play the likes of Mouse Sports and they've got to play Flipside down the bottom there, sooner or later they're going to pick up wins. Assuming. It's a big assumption.
Big assumption, yeah.
But yeah, that relegation spot is up for grabs, and basically SK, they've got cash, they managed to get it through the map veto process, now they have to pick up a win on it.
Yeah, I mean, and how likely is that? I mean, is it going to be a case for SK? I mean, yes, they've got a couple of wins primarily on cash. Is this going to be a case of when we get cash, it has to be it's a must win? Is that going to quite literally the situation they're in at this point?
No, I don't think it's that bad, but you're going up against they're, you know, I don't think it's arguable that even that they're one of the weaker teams in the Pro League, but that's just because the level is so damn high.
Yeah, right.
So that's a bit of a problem for them. I guess they should be happy actually going and getting cash versus G2 because G2 are okay with playing it, but they're also really good at playing down to the level of their opponents. And that's a massive issue. We saw that the map they lost in the DreamHack Malmö qualifier, very surprisingly, was versus Isuba on Cash. And Isuba is not a name you'd put in the same breath as G2.
Not for a long time, at least.
Yeah. Well, if you want to talk about Isuba, you're probably better off in COD
Call of Duty 4
or Source for that matter.
Back, what, 8 years ago now?
That's Iranian Paradox.
Long old time ago. Yeah, definitely that's the problem. But where SK, you know, SK, like I said at the start, they beat Navi. They 2-0'd Navi in the Pro League. The consistency is just not there. They're so hot and cold. And problem is they appear to be very cold right now. Like you say, they bombed out the DreamHack Malmö qualifiers. That probably hurt them, as did Dignitas, though, to be fair. That was against Ancients, so Pronex and his guys. Obviously lost to Astralis. That was a kind of a given anyway. But we talked about the Trick game before it. They've been playing Counter-Strike for the last 4 or 5 hours tonight already. Bearing in mind, they probably were warming up quite a bit before. So mental fatigue is there. Meanwhile, G2, they were sat in server chilling, waiting for the team to turn up. They're very much relaxed. They've just gone 16-5, and they're just sitting so comfortable right now.
It is kind of beautiful that still at this point in CS we've got kind of these top tier teams, like literally tier 1, they're in the best league. Still, these names that don't ring any bells for some people are sitting there picking up wins on maps, drawing them, pushing them. G2, I mean, losing to Isuba, the same team SK having trouble against Trick today. This is the beauty of CS. Anyone can win anything, it seems, at this point. Take that lightly, please. Don't go start abusing me.
Unless Fnatic are involved.
Unless Fnatic are involved. But even then, we have seen some surprise results. But yeah, Cash is going to be coming up next, guys. I need your predictions for this one. Can we see a little bit of light for SK? I'm starting with you, Halvor. This can be a little extended answer if you fancy.
I think they're at least going to get to double figures this time, if that's a shining light. But no,
that is for me.
It should be closer. I'm thinking around 16-12 in favor of G2.
Yeah, look, if you want a glimmer of hope, you look at Mouse Sports on Sunday. They got that win over Fnatic on Dust 2. That was their home map.
Right.
Can SK do it against G2? Probably not. 2-0.
All right. You said at the start, looks like the desk is doubting SK once again, but they can prove us wrong. And to do it, it is your casting pair. You know them well. It is going to be Pansy and Semler. I'm not going to do any gimmicks this time.
That's kind. That's kind. Look at him keeping, you know, A little bit of class to the throw there.
The thing is that you have to force yourself to go, into uncomfortable situations, Alex. Otherwise, life becomes stale. So if if messing with our names scares you, it says a lot. All right, let's get into the game here. I think we're pretty much live and ready to go into the pistol. So it's going to be that second map. It's going to be Cash, Pansy.
It is.
What do you think?
I think it's going to be another smashing. People are giving SK a little bit more on this one. I think G2 have had enough. I think we saw a touch of what Shox can do with the aggression. I think this is going to be his playground. And I think it was Lee who highlighted Scream's aggression in mid and how he dominates it. Once they get into those pistols, if they win this one out and they get the upgrades to the SMGs, this guy will run Rampage. The counter boosts literally every second round. This is going to be a painful game, I think, for SK. But I'm hoping we see more than that.
No, they're just waiting. Look at this from SK. They're just waiting to see if anything actually comes of this, any kind of aggression coming out. No? Okay, then. Minute 20 left on this clock, and they start rotating back towards A. They might get that boost up into mid to go ahead and have a little bit of a welcome party for Scream. And we'll see if that's going to be successful, because this is the scary thing. Okay, now Shoxy rotates into connector, because now Scream actually has somebody to back him. It's a little scary if Scream is on his own. He can get overwhelmed by those Glocks up close. But Shoxy at least having a little bit of a presence there just to say hello.
Now, RPK plays this spot every single time. Nothing new there. And actually, Existence rotating away from that means that no one's there to help him out at all. And there's the overrun. Instantly coming in, SK take control. Really nice work from Magic then to shut off Smiths, getting a little bit of a step towards those vents. And it's left Scream and Shox pretty far away from this one. Bombs down, 5 alive. Barely a touch of damage done. And even more to that, Asilian still has those 2 flashes. He can buy time so much here. Shox gets sent away. And this should be a very clean one for SK to start with.
Just go and save your gear, G2. Don't die. That's, counterproductive. Scream is going to pick up 1. I mean, sure, Shox will have... Oh, okay then. How did that happen? 3 headshots for Scream, and now it's a 1v2. No time. He shouldn't be able to get onto this site to actually win this round, but still, decent performance from him. That's an extra $900 in his pocket.
Muddy. Hit that shot. Hit that shot as clean as you can. You can see Scream just trying to tuck his head down, like, please. Just give me those body shots. Not going to be getting away with that one. But good damage done. A little bit of damage dealt there. And actually, that's going to put G2 away from getting that clean start that they had through on Train, for example. So this could be a little bit different. And okay, so we're going to see the 3 SMGs. I guess the UMP can kind of dance the line every now and then. And the force up now coming out from G2.
Okay, then. So double MP9, and Smith buys an MP9 with no Kevlar. Interesting.
Good Shox. That could have been more. I wonder if Shox is actually going to give anything away here. Pimp's got the bomb as well, and Shox is still in a great spot to use this. As that smoke's going to dissipate, he's going to get the drop on both of these players. He's going to take the first down, but where's Pimp? Pimp is still alive, and he's going to be wondering what the hell's going on. How the hell did Shox get here? And that's 2 coming in already. Now, of course, the last 3 players for G2 are certainly not in a good spot to do much with this. This should be a recoverable, clean round for SK, but RPK quick on the rotate, going to try and cost these guys as much as possible. May even deny a clean cross towards the B site.
You may be able to pull this off, too. Yeah, there's a headshot. Just 360 MLG, just going for it. Okay, trying to check those angles. Unfortunately for him, they were coming in from checkered in main, so nobody waiting under there ready to greet him. But still, Smith at this point is just wishing he had Kevlar. Because if he tries to get into a long-distance fight, it's going to be nasty. He's got that AK now. And is he really? Is he really? Running away. Now, SK can't really chase him right off the bat because this could be a mind game. He could be making the noise intentionally, hoping to bait them out into the open. So he's basically going to get out of this scot-free, Smith. He gets away with an AK, not too shabby. Could see somebody... I mean, Shoxy's certainly going to have the money. So he could go ahead and just invest in some Kevlar for the next round and actually have some fun with that AK if they want.
I wonder what Shox will do in this one. That's what my eyes going to be towards. Smiths obviously can't really supplement this with much, as you said, like maybe a touch of armor, but not enough to really be able to work much out for it. There's no point doing it, but Shox on 3.3k here. I wonder.
Let Shox buy Kevlar and then just go for it. That or Shox could be trying to save for well, he could try and save for an op, but then it would be kind of glass cannon-y. What are they going to do? Is Smith really going to hold on to this? There we go.
There it is.
There we go.
But now, Shox does like to push A main pretty aggressively. Normally, he'll get some kind of support on that. 3 players normally help him out to get there, but they could always just boost him up, trying to get him somewhere solo. And I wouldn't be surprised if he just sits somewhere like this and just tries to be that turret. Now, the rest of the players on their side, a P250 is all they have pretty much, and Shox needs to just hammer in these shots, kind of trying to just fend them away from the A side. Like, guys, I'm here with a rifle. You probably don't want to try this.
That is so sick for SK, though. That's all they cared about, figuring out where that AK was. Now they know. Now they have the info. Instant rotation from them with that bomb, heading over toward the bead site, where somebody's going to be waiting for them with a pistol. They know that they're going to have easier targets here, using the Molotovs as well, not leaving anything to chance. And this is very well done here by SK so far, making good use of the utility. RPK can't do a damn thing to stop it. And so, really, like Shox, unfortunately for him, the gamble doesn't really pay off. He should be able to save the AK for the next round. They're going to buy regardless, but it would be good for him to save it so that somebody can get full nades on his team.
Wouldn't be a bad thing to begin with, and for SK, this should be a very nice round for them. As you said, playing it well. As soon as they got the info off the back of where Shox was, headed straight round towards B. I'm surprised maybe G2 didn't try and stack out the B site as like a, all right, if we show where this AK is, maybe they'll head the other way, and actually Magic's going to get a real nice lineup. But yeah, I'd love to have seen that. But Magic's just going to pad out the scoreboard. Shox losing the AK as well. He'd be able to rebuy, but as you said, maybe someone could have got those full nades towards him. They could have maybe got a little bit more going out through this, but as is, we're going to be seeing SK with a lot behind them now, a lot of mollies, all the utility they need in the world to get this one going. And Shoxy going to be back on just the
He can
M4.
get a kit. Yeah, kit and full nades. Well, full. Why is he stopping on 900? Okay. Could think that he would have been able to get some more there, at least an HE and a flash to go with it, or 2 flashes. Instead, it's going to be that deep flash in, and he walks right into the blender. Perfectly done there by Magic. And that's just a bit predictable. The timing, it's kind of like when you're running long dust to a CT, you're just kind of turned away because the way that it works, those flashes are going to come in, and then you turn around, and then you're ready, right? If they go aggressive out the gate. And that's what SK are playing off of. They're turned away, so the flash is ineffective. And then Shoxy coming in, barreling in alone. Not even a second man there to back him. Just ugly. And doesn't get any prettier either.
No, they keep trying to do it. Scream, do you fancy your chances instead? SK are actually backing away from it. The Flash kind of just buying a second for Freeze to get himself set, while the rest of SK could be going for the boost over mid-late, trying to catch him out on highway. There is existence in the vents, which should kind of raise the alarm if anyone does come through mid. And now as the clock runs down, there's still a fair few smokes and mollies to play with here for SK. They've had to commit so little to this round early on, which is absolutely brilliant for them, because now they can build late into this and not be too worried. But Molly going to put out there, Existence is dropping that smoke in, give him a couple of seconds to work. We're going to swing out towards Magic, catch him, but while this happens, look at B. SK is making the way through. Another very well played out round so far, quite clinical, very clean from SK, reading the gameplay very, very nicely, and G2's aggression being met with absolute force so far.
Yeah, there isn't a whole lot that they can hope to achieve here, G2. It's almost like just back off, save your guns. It's not getting planted on A. Well, okay then, shucks. And just save what you got. So this is the correct play to make for G2. And really, it just comes down to really, Shox and Smiths just trying to force the issue over there in A main. Shoxy dies, okay. It's just, SK, they were ready and waiting for a second peek, a second flash. So G2 have just been hard countered this round. It's as simple as that.
And G2 did the exact same things during the game against Mouse. It's something they often do. If Shox isn't pushing up mid with Scream on like an SMG buy up, he's pretty much pushing A. His aggression is pretty much the entire time. Molly just to make sure.
I like it.
Just gonna go for it. Why not? I guess. And they should all be fine. Yeah, a little bit of damage, but nothing too much to worry about. And G2 will stay in this with 3 rifles, 2.9 on the other, so they can go. Yeah, Shox going straight on the SMG. No surprise there. Smiths often goes to the 5-7, just going to sit on that until he can get the AWP coming out. These are rinse and repeat things, but SK, thoroughly in control so far, not really had to pull out too much. It's been completely like, okay, well, G2, you put out all your hands, or all your cards are on the table. We'll just sit there and read them as you put them down.
Yeah, they're almost like fortune tellers at this point. RPK will be behind the box and checkered. Shoxy will push mid. What is this? It's death and destruction is what it is.
G2 so hell-bent on playing their own game, it's allowing SK to have the perfect time in this, taking down 2 as the presence was in main, and now it's down to Shox again with Zemp9. He's got some power with it, don't get me wrong, but it's now all down to the rest to pick up the slack, and RPK, you better be hitting these shots. Finally comes up with the goods. That's 3 big kills back-to-back, and finally SK get mowed down, but where is Modi going? Back to B we go.
And Smiths is miles away. They still think that this is going to be the A play. They might be expecting him to wrap through mid as well, but he's going to be able to get that bomb plant out in the open as well. A perfect plant. So let's see where Modi decides to move for the after. And he's actually just going to play it off the site. So he has kind of left it open. So this could definitely keep G2 guessing as to where he's hiding for the after play. It could be checkered, could be B hulls. So there might be like a moment of question here for G2.
The one thing they should do is be able to kind of clear out these some positions with the mollies, ideally. But time is starting to run pretty low, and here we go. Modi playing so patiently, and they've not checked it. This is perfect.
Don't even give it away. Don't even give it away, Modi.
Time. Brilliantly done by Modi. There you go. I guess if you plant like that, you're kind of baiting them to assuming, hey, he's got to be in checkers, he's got to be playing somewhere else, maybe up wherever it is. They kept them guessing long enough. And there you go. Modi maybe not, turning up on train, but that's a good display from him.
Yeah, and that is also Smith's not being thorough and checking the site. Man, I cannot. But I mean, that was so perfectly done by Modi. Because you're worried when he's holding that angle, you're worried about that headshot, them just coming whipping around, and he can lose that fight up close if he misses the shot, right? If he's just off on the timing, but he backs off, he hears them coming, and he backs off. That one Molotov thrown by Smith basically gives it away, and Modi plays it perfectly from there on out. That was a sick clutch. Definitely making up for his rough start in the night over on Mirage. But a 1-for-1 trade so far in this key round. If G2 lose this round, we saw it earlier on train. I mean, it's just going to be a hard reset down to $1,400 again, and basically SK will run away with this map. So all the pressure right now on the French-Belgian mix.
Yep. Shox is trying to be as subtle as possible in mid at the moment. Scream's been picked up, that's the consistent factor, but Shox hasn't been here that much yet. But Free seems pretty cautious of it, and a lovely little spray down. Shox not able to adjust well enough in time after he made that first couple of shots, and now SK have complete control of mid. Existence is on the B site alone. You've got RPK and Smiths over by A.
Yeah, Existence is a dead man. They are going to maul him unless he can come up with something amazing, something good. He's got nades. So smoke just to try and buy a little bit of time. There's the flash to cover it. And just to get out, just barely, but he gets spotted, has to hit the headshot, holding down mouse one, will gun down one, but that's it, 1-for-1 trade. That was the best he could hope for. He did succeed in buying enough time for the rotation to come out from his teammates, though.
Yeah,
and an easy shot for Smiths.
Priest was panicking on the plant. He ran into the molly, had to back away. Now the bomb's been delayed, giving Smiths a chance. He'd go back at it, spots the player out, gets the tag, but Magic finding RPK means Smiths is all alone, and I think he's even expecting this one to be a little out of his reach at this point. A little unfortunate, I guess, for him after doing some brilliant work there.
Yeah, he's getting the wall bangs all day there on Namadi as he goes for that plant, but Shoxy deciding to jump the gun and really get in there, not realizing where the second man was. Magic not going to miss a free shot like that, and there we have it, Pansy. It's worst case scenario. It is worst case scenario. G2, they lose. They just continue. They continue to lose rounds.
Do you remember when you...
yeah, for some reason I thought that G2 had won the round. That's silly. Or like they weren't... that they had won the last round.
Yeah.
For some reason in my mind, I went on autopilot.
You started to have faith. You started to believe yourself. You're like, they can't break my heart like this. I believed them at the start of this round. I thought, this map is pretty good for them. They've been playing well. A couple of losses here and there, but they'll get over it. Apparently not. Apparently they want to keep doing the same things over and over and allow SK complete run of the map. And so far it's been Magic finally turning up. He was completely absent, if I'm honest, to his standard on train. Now he's been able to position himself pretty well to start, coming into this one, getting some important kills done very quickly. A bit of a switch up now from G2. Going to try and get a quick stack going in towards the vents. We saw actually a tell a lie earlier, but it's going to be RPK sticking around here. Could be exploited as SK have so much to clear these corners with. And no information gathered towards those B halls, and SK so close to that jump-off point now. They could make a quick hit, and they are at the point right now. The kind of flash slows them down. They don't actually check into checkers. RPK! Again, the 3K comes out. Existence, you've got to hit something, my friend. Oh, he hits him with the flash, I guess. That's something. I wasn't specific, Semler.
That's money right there, though. That tells him that somebody's waiting in checkered below, so he doesn't go back in. He doesn't recommit to the fight. That was pretty sick. So Shoxy steps in, denies the bomb plant from Asilian. Freeze now out in the open. Smith misses the shot, but still more than enough information here. They're going to be able to root him out into the open eventually, and he's not able to take one with him. So there we go. A solid round on the board from G2. But you're right, individual play is what's keeping this close, and that's 3 rounds. That's 2 rounds now. In the space of 2 rounds, he's got 6 kills, RPK, right? Yep. So, can you count on RPK to come up with a triple kill every time?
If you're Vendetta, he always believes that RPK can do it.
Oh, Andrews too, right?
Yep.
Andrews, he's just like, someday, the RPK, the legend will be reborn.
Maybe.
Yeah, it's like he's watching like Morpheus style, right? He's starting to believe.
But it looks like SK going back to what was originally working for them before these B hits. I guess you kind of get a little frustrated when someone's just picking up these 3Ks every time. getting a little bit annoyed by it. So okay, let's try something new. Let's just go back to default, see if we can get a pick, see if they push main, see if they give us something to work off, as G2 was so kind to be doing so before. But this time not going to be giving too much away here. As Existence and Scream so prepared for that presence in mid off the boost, but still a minute into it, and now SK are boosting up. They could still get caught out by this.
Really surprised to see that HE go out there from Existence. That was just a split second too early. The Molotov was still there, right? They would boost up after the molly clears. He would have dunked a nade into 2 of SK Gaming's faces there. That would have been a monster nade. Instead, it's only Magic taking a little bit of damage. Some good shots going out there from Scream through the smoke, delaying things further here for SK. Time is starting to run out on them. 50 seconds left now for them to get onto a site. And they haven't been successful in picking up an entry. That's the big thing here. G2 have actually done a pretty good job of, poking SK Gaming and falling back afterwards.
Now Shox just pushed in towards A main, seeing absolutely no one there. Scream is quickly cheating over towards B, so they actually have a drop that something's coming this way. With 30 seconds left, it's going to be a commitment from SK at this point. Magic's still watching that mid-rotate, but Scream just lining him up. He knows where they're coming from, and now every bit of alarm's going to be ringing. Existence shows himself first, but now will they expect RPK in the same spot? They don't need to. Modi hits the shot. That is massive. Now the site is theirs, and it's retake time for G2.
Quick backstab coming in from Smith, but Freeze heard the steps. Freeze was close enough to hear the footsteps. No element of surprise there for Smith to exploit. And so man advantage now for SK. They've got the Triangle of Doom set up on this bomb site. It's not looking too good here for G2. Scream and Shox, they've got a tough decision to make. I mean, Scream has a kit, so they have a little bit of time, but they need somebody to make a mistake. And Modi, he's not going to slip up. A 3rd kill for him, and he could take out Shoxy as well, but Shoxy's at least going to get that parting shot. Or the 2nd one as well. Can he find the kit? Yeah, the kit's dropped right in front of him. Can he get onto that bomb quick enough? No, Freeze! He misses the Molotov! But there's time enough for him to line up the shot. Still, that would have been style points right there. Freeze, if he gets that volley in from Toxic.
That'd be sexy CS. Right there. 7-1. Semler, we've got a game on our hands. Finally, G2 are getting crushed in this. And the best part of that to me completely is the fact that G2 know it was going to be a B hit pretty early into that one. Before they got any other information, Scream was already getting close towards it. But then just RPK getting absolutely trashed by Modi, something that definitely did not see in that first map at all. And now SK got to be feeling great about this. A 7-1 scoreline, G2 being crushed under what they're bringing. And it's just been the fact that SK are exploiting everything G2 are doing wrong.
Yeah, on the CT side, they really are. It really does seem like SK have a pretty solid read on things. They are not getting caught off guard. And well, yeah, this is where, oh man, talk about the reverse. If you're G2, you're just like, what the hell is going on? What happened? We mauled them on train, and now we're getting our asses handed to us here on Cash. This is supposed to be a map, we should be confident on. No, they're not hitting their shots. That's what it boils down to, apart from RPK, basically. Yep. Shoxy, a little bit of a demonstration in the last round, but it was almost a lost cause at that point.
And it's weird to see that. I started to believe that maybe we've got a more consistent G2 starting to form, but I guess that's what I get for starting to, read into the last couple of games, because it does still seem a little hit and miss in the fact that they're not all on at the same point. We've seen that, okay, well, RPK is doing pretty well, but where's the Existence from the last map? Where's that guy gone? And where's Shox? Where's Scream? Smiths wasn't exactly, at the forefront for the later part of frame, but do you just want to ignore that, Asilian? Do you just pretend it's not happening? Okay, that went well. And now full play is going to take the B side. So in the bigger grand scheme of things, it's not the end of the world, but still, Asilian.
Yeah, Asilian's just counting on that smoke to keep him alive, right?
Just stop it. Just stop shooting me, guys. It'll be fine.
Please. Shoxy, you're a legend. I look up to you. You're my hero. Shoxy, have mercy. Shoxy's like, merci. Yes, merci for the frag.
Oh, wow. So there's a real beauty to you casting any French teams. It just brings it out in you. It's absolutely wonderful. Oh, man. All right, G2. You better turn up with some blistering T-side at this rate, because this has been a bit of a dire show to what I hoped we were going to see. It's like one-sided game to another one-sided game. This is not the CS I want to be seeing.
At least there's a chance here for them to, well, at least get some bomb damage in. Yeah, there we go. Shoxy steps in, gets one. Magic is going to bring it back, and man, they make it so expensive in the end. That is everything that G2 could have hoped for. They managed to box him in. They had a man in CT, and then they had the camp going on in B halls, right? And so all they had to do was try and make the bomb do the work for him, Pansy. Make the bomb do the damage.
Well, if no one's going to hit their shots, at least they can depend on the bomb, right?
Exactly,
There's
right.
one consistent factor you can hope for. And so far, am I reading that right? Smiths has 1 kill in this game, so where have you gone, Smiths? And we've got a 3-man stack over towards B. 2 players being aggressive towards mid, and a completely vacant A. Maybe just saying, screw that, we don't want to read that early on. We want to try something early, and look at Modi go. What is this guy going for at this point? He was completely absent in the last map to this sort of quality play. Now he's been cracking open this B site no matter who's here. All right, well, this time it's Smiths. Last time, it was RPK, and then the time before that, Existence gets trashed. It's like rinse and repeat, and now they're all lined up, and if I was G2, I wouldn't want to take this fight unless, hell, maybe RPK fancies that 3K again. Existence, what are you doing?
He felt bad for wrecking Madi on the last map so hard. Like, Madi, here, have some feel-good moments, bro. Build some confidence back. You're a legend, too.
The Fnatic Modi returns.
Never
for one
again.
half.
Never again.
Screaming shocks.
And that was when Zipnix was a hard fragger. Was expected to be a carry.
God, that was a while ago.
That was a long time ago.
Wasn't Freeze on that lineup as
and
well?
then this also explains how things come full circle, right, Pansy? You know, Zip, he was expected to carry, got some frags.
Yeah.
And now he's come full circle to being, the
god
monster,
tier.
the beast of Astralis.
Just the really early scouting back in those days, like too early for their own good. and now a pause. Really, G2? Like,
Hey,
right.
gotta figure it out. I mean,
At this point,
T-sided still, this map, I'd say it's like ever so slightly T-sided.
Yep.
So it's not completely out of control. The only problem is they broke. They are broke. They have no money, G2. So it's I would actually want Existence to go for one of his old, patented, just hard eco and treat that and jump around and spawn. Just treat that as a timeout, and then take a timeout after that when you're going to go into your buy. Just have like a maximum amount of time to, calm down,
through,
reset,
yep.
and talk. But they're just pulling the trigger here, G2. They're saying, okay, timeout right now, and then what? Eco and get stopped. It's not like you're going to get the timeout and come into a feel-good moment.
Nope. So I get there needs to be a discussion. That's not what we're saying there. It's the fact that it could be better placed, let's say, at this point for G2. As you said, they just kind of have to deal with SK being pretty brutal into this one. Should take this round pretty comfortably, considering they've taken 9 already. Whatever we have coming out from G2 better be on point here. Their T-side is something to be enjoyed. I wouldn't dispute that, but they're not going to have much of a shot at it with only 1 round behind them here. This could be a very short game for G2 once they cross over towards that second half, if they don't pick it up the last couple of rounds, excluding this one, of course. And there we go. There's a discussion. And Existence chilling out in spot. Oh, no, he is off now.
Yeah, but there was a little bit of a moment perhaps where they were wrapping things up.
Yep.
I'm curious to see what they're going to decide to go with in the next round. I mean, here's just Shoxy. I mean, they're trying to lay a little bit of a trap. Scream and Shoxy. Deagles. That's not how the Deagle works, Shoxy. It's not how you're supposed to use it. Well, I mean, this in a way, at least they chose not to waste any time, Pansy. That's the thing. We got to look for the silver lining. And the silver lining in this case is it was a quick round.
Yeah. I guess SK being merciful. A quick and relatively painless death at that point. But now, this is the one that could hurt. This is the round that they should have had that timeout for. Building up to it, like, okay, well, this is when we change stuff. Let's see what they've changed. If there is anything notable that we can see, or maybe just a time to calm down, maybe a time to kind of reflect on what's been working for SK and how to stop that internally. But here we go. Well, 1-10, SK with a blistering lead into this one. And Shocks again towards mid, joined by Scream a little passively. Smith's playing very far back towards A. And this looks almost rinse and repeat at this point, but then again, 1 minute and 30 left.
Yeah, 1 minute and 30 and no flash into main. Maybe a flash into A main around the minute mark if they haven't seen anything yet. Because that's pretty common to go for, because over on the B side, they're playing so very passively right now. It's only just like a crossfire setup between Existence and RPK over there, so... Yeah, they're going to take their time with this, it looks like, G2. They're just waiting for that time to tick down and for SK to show their hand.
It's not a bad idea, but the thing is as well that SK have been so good at taking that mid control, it's become a real nuisance to those two players who are normally very good at this. And it looks like, again, they're going to have to try and deal with exactly what SK have been doing very nicely on so far, which is this mid play a little later into the round. Mollies go out. All that utility starting to be used up, though. SK actually down to not minimal, but a little less than they had to start with now.
Do they have an incendiary? Freeze does have an incendiary. He has a Molotov for sandbags.
Yep.
We got mid. Scream is going to try and flash his way out there. It is successful. Both of those players full flash. This is going to turn into the B split, and right now Scream is making the correct call. He's backing off towards that B site. He's going to be in CT there to support his mates, and maybe he gets lucky through the smoke again.
These B hits have been pretty spot on. Moddy's been at the helm with them so far, but a couple of smokes actually coming in can actually make it a little bit easier, and actually the Moddy pays off and buys a couple of seconds. You saw the swing out from Scream coming out to absolutely nothing, but they know Existence is still here. He's been spotted out. The rotate's en route, but it's a little too slow now as the bomb's going to go down. It's down to Smiths and Shocks to retake. Moddy's looking a little worse for wear, but he's still alive and kicking in this, and Freeze is holding this angle if they do try and make it through here.
Positioning is everything at this point, and Freeze, he's heard them coming from a mile away. The rotation all the way through. He somehow misses the shot, gets caught sleeping. So huge mistake on Freeze's part there because he knew that they were coming. He should have been ready and locked, and as soon as Shoxy comes around there, should have been a dead man. Pimp instead is going to be the one to end Shoxy's suffering, and Monty chimes in on Smith. So still, SK, they control the situation very well at the end, but there was a moment for it, there was a way for it to be a little cleaner. I'm really surprised to see such a slow rotation out of Shox and Smiths. I mean, they really, I guess they were expecting some kind of lurk to be happening.
But that hasn't been there the whole game, really. I guess Magic has been occasionally by the vents, kind of like holding mid a little bit late. That's fair, but I don't know. I think, again, G2 seeming to run out of some ideas as to how to deal with SK, who've just been, on these hot rounds where they're just hitting shots, being pretty solid within the opening nade's going to kind of scrap what G2 are going for, maybe looking for a little cheeky boost here or there, but not going to find the time now as SK's shown with those early nades, in case there was that aggression from Shocks, that maybe we're considering this A site. So again, G2 are going to have to play for that information, and they're not going to get much of it at this rate.
Yeah, it is a bit of a shame that we haven't really seen the G2, counter boosts. Because unlike a cheeky Nando's, those counter boosts can be pretty tasty sometimes.
Don't speak ill of Nando's.
Oh, dude, Nando's is horrible, man.
What?
I'm throwing it out there.
Is that a joke?
Everybody who says that Nando's is good, it's just like I
just
could
call
just
it
say,
Nando's. No,
Nando's,
you stop it.
Whatever. I could just say, okay, good. I'll be sure not to go eat with you anytime soon.
Screw you. It's
I'll
decent, average chicken. All right.
It's British cooking. It's the epitome of British cooking.
Wow. I'm done here. Like, you can insult me all you want, but not my Nando's. Anything but my Nando's. Oh man, I feel like G2 right now.
Well, Scream heard, man. Scream heard.
He answered my call, but it's going to be Shocks to answer the prayer. If he can come up with anything. 3 on site. They're still checking for him. They know he's got to be close by. As Hillian walks into the trap, and I'm still a little upset with this, Semler.
It's distracting you, I can tell.
It's her.
Oh, but Shoxy changing up the position. This could get fun. He catches him out in the open. Freeze gets caught on the edge of quad box. Now that Molotov going around the corner is going to make things pretty toasty. There's the wallbang shot, and then Freeze with a Tech 9. Big plays. Now it's all on Existence, 1v2. And there's like the longest backstab in the history of backstabs, but that's only because the bomb is planted for him. Turns out Madi doesn't need the help, but Magic, he was all the way at bottom mid because that bomb, it's like wide out in the open for short. Would have been perfect for him.
Yeah, lovely plant. And actually, I like Magic playing mid at the moment. He's been showing some real talent there. Like, he's been playing brilliantly when they've been hitting the B site, just as well positioned for A, especially when they're able to put down bomb plants like that. Like, here's the round, basically. Here you go. Unless you're going to see something in a ridiculous shot hit by someone from G2 to deny him that, which so far is certainly not going to be coming to the forefront. 12-1. This is a bloodbath, and it's a little bit of a shame. I kind of hoped for a bit of a closer game between these two. G2 very capable on this map, but we are just not seeing that right now. SK taking the helm. Well, they're just going to go with it. Why not, I guess? Clearing out corners as they go. They've got all the utility in the world to work with as they clear out everything they need. And this might just be a straight-up B here. They're just going to go for this. It's been working well so far. This might be a little half-handed, but again, let's see what Scream can achieve here. Going to be tagging him up on the cross. Finally get some work done. Allows RPK to get into this. And again, coming down to those individual plays, but RPK overextends and gets punished by Pimp.
Yes, he does, and that brings it back in, the realm of the possible. I mean, Pimp, he's got the angle over in Checkered. They have a minute still to play with as well. That smoke going down just makes it easier for Freeze to make his way over here into Checkered and set up the smoke for CT, and now it comes down to the man on the site. And if Existence peaks, Existence will not make that mistake. He will actually make that mistake.
Just doesn't get punished for it, which is a miracle within itself. He knows the bomb's not being collected. He doesn't need to be doing that.
I'm going to start hyperventilating here in a minute. Like, Existence, please, exactly. All you have to do is wait for the mates. You are the linchpin. You're the man holding them off, especially when those smokes go down. He's the only thing stopping them from getting on that site. So if he peeks and dies, that's it.
This game, Semler, 2-12. Is RPK AWPing? No. probably
No,
could do
no.
better than Smiths right now, if I'm honest. He is having a mare of a game. 2-10.
Yeah, that's not pretty.
Not when Freeze has been playing well as well, but Freeze isn't even taking the opening duel. It's kind of later into the game. He's been alive in so many of these afterplants. He's been doing some serious damage and just locking down these angles. And again, it seems like a very similar start here for SK. The late presence in mid, but that's very different now. Existence finding Moddy's going to cut off that complete B control unless Pimp wants to come over here now and keep it in check maybe. But this is a good start for G2 finally.
Yeah, that's just after Modi. I mean, Modi kept going into Toxic round after round after round after round. So Existence, he finally just decides, all right, let's see if I'm lucky today. Is today my day? And he's going to go and buy lottery tickets after this because there you go, man. A little bit of the luck. That feel-good moment for Existence. And they actually have an edge in the round G2. So Smoke goes down into Connector, sets it up. Magic once again making his way into mid. There is a man ready for him, though.
But this is kind
There
of
are 2 men.
strange. Now that's great. But RPK's over at A this time, so it's alone at B. If SK went off how they felt then, they could have made something out of that just because, well, really, Shox is in vents. They have had a bit of a switch up here, kind of like mid-game, you know, into the final round. They decide to make a change, and it actually kind of works out. Don't you do it to me, Freeze. Don't you do it. All right, Shox will get the kill. There we go. Now Pimp, 1v5. Shouldn't have a shot in this, and he doesn't. There we go, Shox to close it down and keep a small margin to work with for G2 into the second half. But this should be a closeout by SK pretty much from the offset. This shouldn't go too far. But then again, G2's T side has got some merit, but I'm not sure.
Like it would work out nicely because they would negate each other on the round difference as well, right? It's just like this night is a wash.
Yep.
Like you got 1 win, 1 loss, basically even rounds, and you move on, right? You focus on tomorrow's games.
Yep.
So maybe SK show the fortitude to take advantage because they were looking just a little shaky there at the end. But then, you know, like in general, when your backs are to the wall, that's when you're most dangerous. In G2, you know, they show some fight at the end of it, but they really desperately needed that. You know, sometime at the beginning of the half, you know.
Yeah, that would have been nice, wouldn't it?
Would have been real nice for all the G2 fans out there.
And to be fair though, G2's pistols generally on cache, if you look back at, let's say, like the mouse game and stuff like that, is not the most creative in the world. It's like Scream and Smiths go utility, and they just go straight in towards A, every single player. At least that's how they did in the last couple of games. And I'm hoping maybe they have a little more than that this time to bring out, because, you know, you saw Train where they were on this, like, mad kind of, like, I guess, trip around the map. But I don't know. G2 surprised me. You got 3 rounds against 12. I want to see something special here. Maybe we are.
I was about to say, like, I thought the bomb was running solo towards A. You're like,
Not that special, guys.
the YOLO rush on B, and then the bomb gets planted elsewhere. That could be fun. I mean, right now, look at this 4 players over on the B side with the rotate maybe coming out. No, they're okay. No. Okay, come on, make up your minds, guys. Make up your mind. Is it retake on A? And it does look like it will be retake on A. They're hoping right now, SK, that G2 are going to commit to this B site.
Smiths puts 1 smoke down and gets 4 players to B.
I mean, but this is
Excuse me,
still
Scream.
this could still be solid, right? It's like if you
Yep.
play retake A, the A site much easier to you know come into and get the
Yep.
kills on than the B site. So
100%.
still a valid risk taken by SK. Magic though.
He just backed away from his peak as well. He'd have had maybe the angle on that one, but no, G2, not like this.
Oh, this is perfect.
This is great for SK though. They've got 4 players waiting here, and little did G2 know it. Now they might start realizing there's a problem afoot, as there are a hell of a lot of bodies on this side.
2 still alive, stepping out, however, a bit of an awkward spot, and RPK and Shoxy, they're going to come through. Pimp drops the bomb carrier, though. That's RPK dead. And Pimp is nearly picking up the second kill. Dangerous territory here. He keeps taking this fight. He's down to 40 HP, perhaps trying to draw attention to himself so that Magic can peek out from vents, but there's a man holding that angle already. Oh, this is wild. Pimp is just like, all right, time to get in there, time to take the fight to him. Gets into that CT angle. Scream is there for the headshot, and Scream with the double kill at the end. So pistol round goes G2's way.
But that was weird as hell. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
you fake B at the start. Cool. All right, you pull all the players there. You kind of like look towards A, look towards mid. Like, okay, let's get some mid control. That sounds good here. And then they just barrel into B after no information gathered, and they walk into what was actually 4 players, and then Magic not too far off. But they still make it work. So there's that, I guess. If it works, it works. It doesn't matter how you get there at this point. 3 rifles going to come out. The Galil with Existence, and then the 2 Mac Daddies, Shox and Smiths. Going to pick those up in RPK. Just having some target practice on Modi there.
Yeah, RPK is like, I'm not Existence. I hit my headshots, Madi. It's a different beast in town now. These halls, too small for the both of us. I'm curious. I'm curious to see if it's possible. G2.
Do you believe?
Do I believe, Pansy?
That's what I'm asking them.
I stopped believing a long time ago.
All the hope and faith has been stripped from you. As RPK not making it as clean on the second there as it seems. Does have a little bit of armor as well. And Shock's going to take some damage, but Existence going to pick up the pieces and take down Asilium from the side. There was a man towards CT, that being... I'm sure that was Pimp, I'm not too sure. It doesn't really matter at this point as Magic's found Smith, so that's a gun free. Melee Mac 10, however, so not exactly the best to recover at this point.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe if you could give it to Magic, but then again, you kind of want Magisk to have that that dig. Try and hit those headshots, freeze. It'd be good for him to hold on to it actually, because if
Build up the money.
Exactly, he could invest in Kevlar and maybe try and go for some sneaky plays next round, make a little bit of money back. That'd be very nice for him in that AWP.
I guess you got to make the best of a bad situation at times, and if you can get away with that and then apply into the next couple of rounds, as you said, this could be a nice starting place for them again. But G2 going to go on the board. Magic looking to hit some shots. Will he go for this? Dangerous game.
Yeah, exactly, because he also baits out for Pimp. Pimp not able to get the follow-up, however. And is this really Magic? He's backing off. Besides, he's had enough. He wants to hold on to his Kevlar for the next round. Some wisdom, some restraint being shown here. Yeah, no, that's the hard thing to be, you know, like being a fan of G2, right, of Existence has been pretty difficult. I'm not gonna lie. Ever since, you know, DreamHack winner 2013, fateful final, like semifinals, right?
Yep.
The real finals, but you know, the semis versus NIP, and they never made it past the group stage in a major again.
It's insane,
My heart
isn't it?
broken so many times now, Pansy.
But he's trying. He's trying real hard to win you back right now. He's been putting in the work. And again, a clean round should be coming through. Nice work from RPK. He is showing he is much better than, I guess, Existence in those B halls. He is showing some real dominance there. And a clean round is going to be good for G2.
Let's see him show that dominance in an anti-eco, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's easy to be the tough guy when they've got pistols.
Yeah. Let's see how well he fares now as they have the big guns coming out. 12-6. This is the round we've been waiting for. No AWP to be seen on G2. Sticking with the rifles this time. A hell of a lot of molly's going to come out. And now SK finally have that fire to bite, you know, pretty much fight back with here. Free's going to pick up the AWP. This could be a good round coming out from them. Let's see if G2 are ready for this.
Well, G2 right now, it looks like, again, very quick mid-control from them. Straight boost, running out through the smoke as well. And they're actually going to go ahead and use the utility to clear out sandbags as well. Straight up mid. Now they actually have a base to build off of. That's the whole point on this cache. You can focus on extremities, but like the real strength is getting control of mid to allow you to then execute the splits, right? Through vents onto B site, through the tunnels as well, or you wrap up short, wrap up speedway. And this is the angle that Freeze is watching. He spots the man, lands the shot, Scream going for one peek too many. And that ends it over there. So now, I mean, that's going to force G2 to start working their way towards B. And guess what? Both players are still here, alive and kicking.
Yeah, let alone Pimp even coming over now. This has become even harder. Smith, though, isn't quite falling for this one yet, but no one's forced to rotate. No one from SK has to at this point. They're still pretty much golden here. So, G2, you've got to find a way to force these guys out of these spots, or at least clear them out. They've still got a molly on Smiths, but as said, he's over by A. You've got a flash and a smoke towards Shocks, and RPK's just going to go walking out. He spotted a one player. Nice work this time from him. There goes the smoke, and now finally, here comes the rotate. Smith's on the lurk, but that's not the point right now because Pimp is out on the angle, and still RPK's firing bullets, and still hitting these shots. Great stuff from G2, just... RPK, what a performance on opening up B then. He had the support in the right place, but now can they hold it? Yeah,
that's the ultimate question. I mean, they have taken quite a bit of damage. RPK and Shoxy are both very low right now. The only problem is there's no smokes to use for SK. They've only got the flashes. And those flashes are now used up. Magic, he's just chucking them out there. But they're not in position to capitalize. Shoxy is just going to step out into the open. So he brings it back to a 2-on-2, but there's no kit here on SK. So they are running out of time. They need to get into position. And the kit has actually been picked up. Okay, so there was one on the site. Now Freeze is going to be watching his mates back. There's the defuse coming through. There's the first shot landed by Freeze, but he's not covering the angle. Does he actually have time? He still has the kit. He's got it. Oh my. That was pretty good. That was pretty crazy. Just going to say.
Freeze hits a 4K as well, bearing in mind. Like,
not sure what Freeze was doing going back behind the boxes to the left again, but guess just buying time to reload, but still, holy hell.
And was it Shox who just kind of like took the fight straight out on the side?
Shoxy's just stepping out there. I mean, that's if they like. That's the thing. If Shoxy doesn't die, then SK can't really push onto that site because then they have to worry about, you know, it's
the
just
extra
like
man, right?
he stays alive. That doesn't happen. But Shoxy just decides to like walk out into the open, and that was the go signal there for SK.
Yep, Magic just took the shot, and here we go. SK now playing with a little bit more vigor to it, but needs to be met by Scream. And this is the B play that G2 have been doing quite consistently, but not going to have the chance to do it here, as that early aggression maybe giving away the game. Now the stack's going to come over from SK. And this is what Christian was doing, taking some aggressive fights to it, not letting Scream play that first man in after the mollies go down, and it works. And it's going to reset this, but G2 could always build back to it later. Doesn't have to be now. Now Modi has to take that spot.
This is a Danish thing. This is like what we just saw from Dignitas, well, what we saw from Dignitas on Mirage as well, is, you know, they win that round and then they try to go for a big play after it. And it's just completely and utterly backfiring on them right now.
No, not exactly Magic. Magic? Just pulling, you know, kills out of nowhere. RPK going to gift him one, so now down to 3v2. It's actually become a little more possible. Okay, so Smith has controlled the CT. But the problem is that Magic had to break the vents to show, you know, to even get a chance for you to get through there. And then you've got to consider, do we want to go for this round? How much can we do here? As we have no information now on where they're going. Looks like Freeze and Magic have chosen to play this one safely.
Holding on to their money in the end, or just hoping that they're going to catch them setting up, perhaps. No, 18 seconds left. They know that it's the other site. And so they're in position to just save their guns at this point, SK, because the money, it's not looking too hot for them. Again, you win that round, then you lose the next one. I mean, they still have a margin for error, like some room, but they cannot afford. And that, but I think the big damage is just going to be to their confidence. They're going to be like, well, crap, you know, we won that round, but then we tried to go for the BDP, and that backfired. So now what? Now what? Right? You know, like, great, we could have closed it, guys, but we didn't. We decided to take a risk, and it didn't pay off.
And I'm wondering if SK have the fortitude to deal with this as well, because they've had some big, you know, I'm not saying G2 haven't had some big losses, because they certainly have recently, but SK have been kind of getting a little bit bullied at this point, you know, a little bit kind of bruised after the way they've been playing out on Train the game before that. You know, it's been a little bit rough, so now they've got to have that, excuse me, synergy as a team to not get worried. Like, we've got 13 rounds, guys. We should be able to close. We should be fine. Don't worry about it. We can bound back. We've got a lot more rounds to play with. We're a little bit poor in this one, but we can get through that. For G2, you've got, you know, I guess one of the most notorious in-game leaders of existence, keeping things calm, ideally, even though he's been saying he's getting a little frustrated himself. But this should be where you start seeing more experienced teams shine in these sort of instances. But let's see what SK can do. Can they cause any damage here? Because it looks like a stack out towards B. Going to try and maybe pick up on towards RPK, but he's playing this one calm, cool, and collected. And the rest of G2 taking some mid-control and just going to work their way through this map.
You got Freeze with that op, so it could be very interesting to keep him over there. Have a couple of, well, I mean, basically like living decoy grenades. They get to run out and, you know, wreak some havoc.
Oh my god, not like that. Existence just gifts his head on a plate to Asilian, so that's, I guess, one loss. But now they're actually walking into the stack here. Modi still on the site, didn't get swept away.
Well, that's awkward.
That's very awkward. Now Magic goes down. Nicely done by G2, taking the fight a little bit, excessively in that one. Maybe not, you know, taking their time to clear out and make sure, hey, well, it's a B stack. We could have hit maybe another stack.
Eco. SK Gaming, Eco.
Please.
Do not force buy.
I wouldn't mind a couple of pistols dropped.
Okay.
But that's it.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine.
That's good. I was a little worried there that they would try and go for the big play and go for the force buy, but no, they keep their cool. A little bit of a nade there, just doing a little bit of damage to Shoxy and Scream. That AWP and Magic Boy. Sick shot onto Smiths. There's the Juan Dig. And the follow-up could happen here as well. He's still alive. He's drawing them in. Freeze goes for the peek on Sugar Cube. Actually doing a little bit of damage, but for now, they hold the line, SK. It's not until RPK steps in and takes out Asilian, but that was over on the B side.
And Modi's still playing a bit of a quiet game here, let's say. He's tucked himself in the corner. RPK needs to check that. I think you'll see it pretty quickly, but Magic finds his place as well on B. And while that happens, though, the rest of SK do get mowed over. They get kind of bowled under while those rifles coming through. But look at the HP now for G2. It doesn't matter.
No, yeah, that would have been something special if he could have killed Shoxy. Could have been totally possible for him to get that comeback going in the round, but You know, not meant to be. Still 2 nice headshots coming in. And this one, Magic is waking up a little bit if we just look at straight fragging power.
Yep. And RPK, joined by Shock. Shock's a little bit here and there on it, but RPK is consistently winning out fights on B against buys, against ecos. Maybe not too many for, buy-ups coming from SK yet. This, however, is a big buy-up. We've got Modi still on a little bit of a lesser rifle, I guess you could call it at this point, but Pim going to go for the aggression in mid this time. 3 players keeping themselves pretty close towards mid as well. G2 have had a real affinity for keeping themselves towards this, so I guess that makes sense. But now, I do wonder if Shox can maybe work something out. This could be dangerous, but now here we go. Pim just gets a bit of a sitter. Existence just walks into the bullets, fully flashed up. Pim gets away with it. Now Shox needs to pull people away from mid here if G2 want to shuttle it.
Need to try and find somebody slipping up. Magic Boy going for these shoulder peeks is a little risky. Just trying to see if anybody is going to be coming through here, and he does peek out, and yeah, just big shot there from Shoxy. Smith misses a key kill. If he could have taken out Pimp, this could have got really interesting, but instead, Bomb is still going to be making its way through A main. Flash through from Pimp. Take it over, Pansy.
Why? All right, 2v2, and that choice alone is curious enough within itself. But now down to Modi and Asilian. Now Modi's got a hell of a lot to clear out these corners with. He's got a molly to put down towards maybe, quad or maybe MBK corner. Let's see what they do with this one now as Modi's going to take the straight fight. Doesn't use a single piece in his arsenal, and now Shox has a whale of a time. That's 3 kills that could have been avoided or maybe even challenged on that they allowed to slip into the hands of G2. And suddenly, look at the scoreline. 13-10. No money left on SK, or minimal, should I say. They're down to, what, 4K, 3.6. Pistols here, there, and everywhere. And I just don't get it. Why relive this for Semler? Why?
I'm just thinking of like Robert Downer Jr., right? Where he's just like, you never go full NA. Never go full NA. Oh. I don't even know. Why would he flash in the smoke there? The man advantage, they know that all he has to do is sit and wait. Be patient. But, so that's, I mean, SK are defeating themselves at this point. Like, they literally are defeating themselves.
Which is terrifying.
Interesting. I mean, if G2 can get that comeback, it's going to be soul-shattering for the Danes. Like, unacceptable, completely unacceptable. 11 rounds for G2 now picked up. SK still sitting on 13. That was a round of eco, so it was a quick affair. Now we get into the full buy for them. And really, they need to start just like, calming down a little bit. Taking a moment to think about their actions.
For your sake. So you don't have another heart attack and fast disappointment come through. But I want to see maybe that B hit now coming out. It looks like they may be posturing towards it. They only do it on full buys where they have absolutely everything for G2. But it's still going to take a little while to build up towards. And Modi, again, was the man who kind of made it a little bit awkward last time. And I think it was Asilian as well who kind of fed himself into it. This is the B hit that we've seen a couple of times before. Normally Screen the one to go in first as well to kind of play the opener off the back of it. But RPK's been having a great game here. Wouldn't be too surprised to see it being a bit of a different setup, but here we go. Yeah, Scream and RPK going in first, and this is the B hit that completely outdid Astralis, but Molly's being calm, cool, and collected, and actually not giving away anything. Now, G2's going to be scratching their heads going, where the hell is this player? There's got to be someone here, right? Oh, Bomb's going to go down completely unscathed, and a 5v5 after plant.
And G2 have got to be feeling pretty nifty about this. This is a tough task here for SK Gaming to undertake. They have a couple of hits to work with. That was the key kill. Modi, he picks off Existence, who just decides to go charging around the corner. Shoxy's going to be able to turn away, and he might be able to catch out Modi, but Smith will strike out first. They line up for Shoxy, but Pimp, not going to be enough, Pimp. 1v3 for you. You need to win this duel versus Scream, and it's just not meant to be. But that is an excellent call to go for on G2's part.
I absolutely love it as well. I think that's one of the nicest B takes I've seen in a long time that does work pretty consistently. Even if you know it's coming, it's very hard to handle. And you saw, I think it took Astralis 4 or 5 goes till they broke it. And I think it was actually Device coming over to Orb, you put debris on it, like everyone had to pile into it. But still, if you see Scream and RPK hitting shots on the entry, it becomes very difficult to handle. So now G2 just threw it out once. That's now like, it's there, we can go back to it if we want to. Now you're kind of scared of us hitting this site. And they've gone back to what seems to be a default Magic, looking like he wants to maybe jump in off a pop flash, but no flashes with SK to work from, so just holding, I guess, a strange angle here for Magic, just sitting out in the open, I guess, trying to do what they can. But this is going to be 13-13, and G2, what fortitude to bring it back to this point.
Yeah. No, really sick to see, and just using using the correct strategies at the correct times to break SK, make sure that their money is just never where they want it to be. They're getting max bonus at this point, SK, so I mean, they should have a healthy buy going into the next round, but you know what would be hilarious is that if G2 just run the same strat over again. Why not? Just do what you did to Astralis.
I wouldn't be surprised. That's the thing. G2 being quite hesitant on this round, I guess, because I guess you don't know what you're up against, where these players are. Is there a stack? Are they trying to clear out? And you don't know walk towards Magic with a Deagle at this point, but I'd love to see that again. I think this is one of my most enjoyed plays, at least in a long time, seeing like, you know, the fully like put down piece.
Yeah.
Of course, Existence not exactly unbeknownst to doing these sort of plays, but it's nice to see it in action and working out well. But here we go. Nice little setup there between Pimp and Modi. And now the rest of G2 going to pile in here. There's 3 players on site, but Shock's going to make light work of them and gets the 3rd as well. Clearing it out nice and comfortably. And 3 stay alive then with the AWP as well with Smiths. And there we go, 13-13 Semler. This is scary times for SK. And G2, what a roll they've got themselves onto.
Yeah, they've literally picked up 1 round this second half, as you guys can see. SK
Unreal.
Gaming, unreal. And so now, yeah, please G2, just do it again. Just run the same strat over again.
It looks like it's them.
That is, I mean, it's exactly how it should be. It went so smooth last time, why not?
All right, Modi, what do you got? What are you going to do different this time? This is nice. This could be, I guess, a way to stop it, because they generally like to set up pretty quick and just like sit there for a second. So maybe, oh no, don't make us, Modi.
He's deciding he doesn't want to take the risk. As soon as that smoke clears, he's a little bit too exposed. And there we go. Now the flashes come sailing in. Molotovs as well. Delayed flash to hold off my yes.
So
oh wow,
right.
it's so beautiful.
This is beautiful CS. Now they need to be quick on this one. Asilian's buying time here for the rotate. That means Pimp is here earlier this time, but there's Existence clearing him out. And now 3 players for SK. Last time Pimp tried to bring it close. Modi even bought a bit of time in checkers that time. Just so white. Flash after flash, perfectly placed. Bomb now down. 4 alive still for G2. Magic, Freeze, and Pimp need to get something quick if they want to go into this round.
SK, back off and save your guns.
Please.
Unless you get a kill in the next 5 seconds, basically. Oh no, Smith knows. Well, nice play with the angles there from Pimp at least. Smoke goes down to block off the halls. Smith ventures a shot through, and now he's actually just going to go full YOLO straight through that smoke. Scream is going to be able to pick up 1, and they succeed in holding the push. Sick from G2. I mean, that flash and the delayed flash as well, like that's the real fun thing. It's like when you guys have like all the little timings ironed out where let's just watch it all again in its glory.
This is
time
real
from the
beauty.
CT side, right? Where you're just like, what do you do?
Like, Modi even like kind of turned a little bit. He was like, okay, I'm fine now. That flash though, look at it. It's so perfect.
It's just money.
Oh. All right, this could be G2 getting onto map point.
And this
14-13.
This is where they could really exploit it. Like now you have to look at, I mean, I like that SK are trying actively to search for a solution here.
That's nice.
The boost to look into Sunroom, right? Okay, maybe we can spot somebody out here, pick them up, and then they can't do this, you know, crazy execute. And then the quick push, actually, they go for the counter boost here. Scream is on the other side, though. Element of surprise, and Scream sees it coming. Still gets headshot.
Yeah, pretty impressive by Pim to still hit that shot, I guess, but putting Scream onto 8 HP is pretty impressive at this point. He's been pretty pivotal for the G2 side, you know, coming into these rounds, opening things up here, but Shocks as well. Trinity has been playing towards Squeaky. They have been able to work towards A, but that bomb's yet to commit anywhere. They're just playing default here, G2, almost just saying like, okay, SK, you feel like changing things around? You want to go aggressive? RPK, please don't mess this up, buddy. Oh, the burn. Nicely placed smoke there. At least it'll allow him to get away. Cillian's just going to be like wiping that sweat off his brow like, I just made it, guys, don't worry. But then again, everyone's starting to think about B, where look at this hit is coming from. 3 mollies still, they can clear out these corners pretty comfortably. At least maybe where Freeze is. However, Magic could change this round.
Yeah, I feel like it is a lot going to be on Magic, and there's a second man there as well stacked up. That's Freeze with his back. Who's got his back, both of them with M4s, and it comes down to that first shot. They do get the headshots, but then RPK in Existence. They weave in and out like ballerinas, like dancers. And they just go crashing onto that site.
I don't think RPK has ever been called a ballerina before in his life, but that is a wonderful analogy.
I was going to say figure skaters, right? You
that
know?
would have been better.
Say figure skaters. That's what first came to mind, and then I was like, oh, damn, ballerinas? No. Dancers, maybe. But they're dancing on ice.
They got ice in their veins at the moment. To come back from that deficit, this is crazy. And SK, if there's a way to break a team, this is like full Fnatic breaking style, you know what I mean? Like, give them hope, and then just take it away from them piece by piece. At least Cian's going to find Scream, but I doubt he's going to make it out of this round. Nope. But it's like, this is full Fnatic breaking style. Like, would you like some hope? Because we'll give you it. We'll give you like just enough rounds where you think you might be able to close. And then we'll just break your back. It's 15-13 now. And SK have a very poor buy into this round.
Run the B strat.
Do it. No.
That would be the next level play now, is if they just ran that B strat over again.
Oh, man.
Quick boost, though, quick boost. Pimp, he's going for the shoulder peeks, the jiggles. He's going to pick up the first. Not sure if he spotted the second, though. So,
Is Freeze above the smoke there? Can we have a little look at Freeze?
Yeah, he's boosted, isn't he? Yeah.
Okay, so at least gets information towards A main, but still RPK's winning out on fights on B, so now SK need to operate with only 4 players alive, and look at this pincer towards A. This is monstrous. Freeze needs to be huge in this round. He's pushed himself towards main. He's going to get a good spot at this, but now Pimp and Asilian got to be fast on this one.
Yeah, the quick rotate is coming through. Now it's whether Freeze gets that element of surprise. Not sure if Shoxy spotted him, but that smoke is going to go down, and now they don't even have to worry about Pimp. They're so on point right now, G2. They just need to get the bomb down, and they've nearly got this map in the bag. Oh, Smith, yeah, catches out Pimp, who again tries to make the hero play. Nice angle there by Asilian. He's able to pick up the first, but Smith manages to take out his teammate, and this is all on Asilian now. 1v2 with 8 points of HP. They're even boosting behind quad boxes.
Got 5 bullets. Asilian.
Big
Asilian.
plays.
No. What on earth is this? 1 bullet left, and that's not going to be good enough. Shox is going to close it down, and G2 with the turnaround on the T side. What a sick T side from those boys.
I hope that you guys enjoyed that. That was one of the rare, ultra rare comeback sort of situations like that, right? Where,
you don't see it. You don't see it.
And yeah, you don't see that very often, where a team is able to come back from such a huge deficit at the beginning of the half. Like, well done on G2's part. They had some clean executes as well that we don't get to see, you know, equally, like where it's such a finely tuned execute like that on that B site.
Yeah.
Hats off to G2. I'm impressed. Maybe I just might believe again, Pansy.
You're like ice cold heart starting to beat a little, just chipping away at this little bit of ice that's just been frozen over for all those years.
It's a little bit of a thaw going on.
Well, while we de-thaw Semler, we're going to head over to the analysis desk to see what they think about that matchup.
Well, I mean, you said it perfectly yourselves. G2 just, I mean, blowing our minds, but also SK. I mean, you couldn't write a story like that. SK, not only do you basically you get stomped on the first map, you then come into Cash, and it's a map that the desk is hailing as your best opportunity. You come into that, you have a 12-3 lead on the first half, everything is fine and dandy, and G2 start delivering it by the bucket load. On top of that, you've already started losing some games you shouldn't lose outside of the league. Their mindset is going to be in the trash right now.
It's tilt night.
It's tilt night.
It was.
Expect some aggressive tweets.
I mean, obviously it was a game in 2 halves, literally, but it was totally different. Like G2 basically were economically screwed, challenged in their first CT side, and SK did a good job. But on the T side, it was so beautifully crafted, some of their play.
Yeah.
The B side, we talked about the B side before. We've seen it, and then we saw it firsthand there, how well it was. When you have players like Shox getting 17 and 2 in the second half, you know, and literally putting the team on his back,
Well,
33, 34
RPK,
kills overall, and they were good kills. They were like opening kills and closing kills. He was winning rounds, but everybody stepped up. You know, from a 12-3, like they just said it, you don't see that very often from a 12-3 turnaround and not pick up 1 round on the CT side.
For me, it's more about the way they did it as well, because if you look at SK's T side, it wasn't very imaginative. It wasn't very creative.
Brute force.
But you know, that's perfectly fine. They found something that worked, and they abused the living hell out of it, because G2, and that's what's so mind-boggling about this team, because you can see how they play their T side. It's beautiful Counter-Strike. It's well thought out. Everything has, you know, a plan behind it. Every flash, every Molotov, every nade. And then you see their CT side, where they're literally getting stumped by a Fag taking mid control and splitting B about 10 out of 15 rounds. So it's hard to grasp how they cannot figure out how to adapt properly to that on their CT side, because at that point it should have been a much easier side, and you saw them play an extremely good CT side versus Envy. So, yeah.
Yeah, those stumping frags. What I want to address right now, though, is the dawn of the B take on Cash. Both sides on their T side were leaning towards that B site. We talked about it before. I'd like to just address it quite quickly, Halvor. Is this just, are we going to start seeing more of a shift towards the B side, or is it just a few teams maybe lining the path for other people?
No, I don't think it's necessarily going to be a new trend amongst all teams. I think it's more some teams have better executes for it, and some don't, right? That's really how it is. And I don't think even SK would have gone to that many B executes if G2 actually had set up a halfway decent B.
So you're in G2 shoes, you've just lost like 5 consecutive B takes. What are you doing? You stacking the site? You taking Smiths somewhere away from A?
You get Astralis on the phone and say, how did you guys deal with it? We didn't. We had the same problem. It's like, when Astralis were having the exact same issue. For SK's side, it was more like brute force. Modi was landing some amazing frags on the way in. They were kind of almost pushing out of B into him, whereas Modi kind of disappeared in the second half. But for G2's side, you saw it. The beautiful smokes, the mollies, everything had a place, basically. And even to the point that Existence was basically like, I'm just going to run in and pre-frag at the corner. Didn't quite work out for him, but they knew exactly what they're doing.
A for effort.
Would I be rude to mention that the play for a retake, is that an option on B? Dropping pens?
No, it's definitely an opportunity, but it also requires you to have a certain set of utilities left to make it a lot easier. And we did see actually one retake. I think it was Smiths and I want to say Shocks. No, it might have been RPK as well, actually. But in any case, Smiths had a 5-7 and a bunch of nades. Didn't use his Molotov to clear a bomb site. Madi placed that perfectly. Just bring around the Rosie around the back box.
If you look at the Astralis game, what they did is obviously start to stack it out. But the problem is when she started doing that, A site wide open, and G2, thank you very much.
Which we saw them try. Did you remember that round where I was sitting there like, surely they try an A hit. You were like, why? And actually, it kind of came back to bite them.
Yeah, no. If it ain't broke, don't fix it, right? It's really that simple. And what I was surprised from D2 side is that versus Envy, they had a lot of A aggression, and we saw that they caught Envy off guard.
Yeah, they were pushing up main, catching them on the boost.
Right. Exactly, and with SK pretty evidently, it should be pretty obvious for a team like G2 after a couple of rounds that, well, they like to take mid control, so we should probably disrupt them, and they have to leave some parts open of the map to actually be able to do these boosts and all that stuff, and they're clearly not letting up on B. So that there must be some openings on A, and I feel like G2 didn't explore that option.
They also just didn't take the chances when SK had the chances. And you think of the 3v2 Pimp running through smoke.
Yeah,
like they haven't even got plan down yet. It's like wait for your teammates. But they'd already got to that situation where they were obviously clearly like, oh my god, we're down to double figures already. Yeah.
I mean, I think, the mindset definitely played into that as SK do concede another loss. I mean, it looks so good for them, especially on that first half. However, SK have conceded both of their losses today, and that was just the results most recently. Let's show you what you witnessed for the entirety of the day. We started our day with the boys from Natus Vincere Navi beating Dignitas in 2 games. One much more closer than the other. It felt like Mirage could very well have gone Dignitas's way if a few very integral rounds had gone the way of the Danes. Later on, though, we did just see Train go the way of G2, very much in a similar fashion to that overpass, one-sided this time for the French. And Cash, if you have just joined us, I'm sorry you missed the European side of things, but you haven't missed the North American. That is going to be kicking off right after us in about 2 hours, just under 2 hours time. You're going to be able to jump into the North American side of the Pro League, and that's actually getting pretty damn exciting. Optic, the front runners, are going to be starting the day, and we're going to be seeing what they can do. Other games involving, Winter Fox, who I can't help but remind you guys did recently pick up a win, which raised all of our eyebrows when we mentioned it. We saw them picking up a win against Luminosity not too long on Train. Fallen got 4 frags. What? So North American Pro League is heating up, and you can go ahead and catch all of that action and more in about 2 hours' time on this very channel. So do be sure to stay tuned for that. Or not stay tuned, but set your alarms, set your clocks, and get ready.
Stay tuned. It's the same channel, same place.
Just hang out. Yeah, I guess you can. Yeah, just go walk your dog.
2 hours.
He's been watching you watch us for far too long. Go and walk your dog. Have some dinner if you haven't already, and you've got North American CS on the horizon. But of course, for the European side of things, if you are EU born and bred, do be sure to get ready for what is coming up tomorrow. We're going to have some pretty damn exciting games coming up as well. G2, Dignitas, double for them. And I mean, we already know the storyline for there. Both teams are going to be hungry for that one. G2 especially really needed that win today and going to continue to need it coming into tomorrow. 2 versus the Danes. And then I'm very excited for this one. I'm almost certain it's our hot match of the week from the Score Esports. It's going to be Fnatic and NIP battling it out on both Cash and Inferno. That is going to be spectacular, and that's going to be going down at that usual time that you guys know about, that 9:30, 10 o'clock. So you're ready. The clocks are set. We are going to go ahead and disappear, and hopefully you guys will join us in 2 hours' time for the North American side of things. So, thank you so much for joining us. We hope to see you then.